Think as a reader, for a reader, is the appeal of reading historical romances, or not romance, just historical fiction? And do you think there's more of a resurgence in reading historical fiction due to like the rise of steampunk, and because you're starting to, I don't know about anyone else, but I'm starting to see a lot more of it, especially in the paranormal aspect. Does that make sense?
I think it's the same thing stepping into a fantasy world, stepping into a historical world. It is not the contemporary world. And you do, yes, you do world building in contemporary, but the world building and the whole society in a historical, in a fantasy, in a science fiction, in a western, I mean, it is stepping into that other world. And so, is it a paranormal world? The reasons people step into a paranormal world are the same as they step into a historical world. I want to leave this current world, and the author has woven a beautiful story that I love.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely true. That the appeal of historical is that it does have that sort of fantasy element where you're taking yourself out of my contemporary struggles. And I think also one of the things that is really cool to me as a reader is that a lot of authors are exploring historical in new ways, be it with paranormal elements or steampunk, or even just like time periods that haven't had many romances written about them typically. Like I've seen a lot of new Jazz Age romances in the last year, which is really cool because I think that period is fascinating, and I think, I think one of the really great things about publishing now is that authors have room to explore different time periods, different kinds of books that have been written before. So you are seeing a lot of historical paranormals that have been published, and some really good ones too that are, and I think that's really exciting.
And yay for Downton Abbey that's opened up World War I finally.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's that too, that, you know, I think a lot of pop culture stuff is also feeding into that. Any of these historical time periods, or like, you know, like the Gatsby movie coming out and getting people interested in the Jazz Age again, and even Downton Abbey, that's sort of the 20s, right? That is getting, like, all of that is.
It starts with the sinking of the Titanic.
Right, but and where they are now, they're in the 20s, I think. So, like, I think all of that is a lot of pop culture is creating new interest in new historical time periods, which is really cool, because I like to read a lot of different kinds of books, and I think that is really exciting for me. And as an author, too, because now I'm like, I have a weird idea, and I'm going to write it. So.
Yay! Ideas!
I've run into teachers at the high school and college level, too, that have started using modern historical fiction to kind of help bring their younger readers into the fold, reading about more historical things. That was a lot of historical in that statement.
Another thing I think is, as readers, we can decide where we want to be that day. You know, it's like, let's see, today I want to see the Or today I want to escape to, you know, Regency times and dress in a ball gown, and in our heads we're living it. So I think that is that. And just like, you know, you want to be in a fantasy world and stuff.
And so, to the young reader, the 60s is as historical to them as the Regency. So, you know, you can dress up in tie-dye or dress up in a ball gown and play with St. Louis. So.